Chapter 8. Devotion to Bala Krishna and his care. The nursing and care of God won through devotion, though residing in the heart, is more difficult than sitting near God, but it is also easy in a way for one who does it with love and tenderness. Before realization, during the process of bhakti, bhajan, and renunciation, the experience of the immensity of God is on the increase. But as the knowledge and vision becomes frequent, the immensity gets narrower and narrower day by day. Here the vision and knowledge are identical. In whatever form and name the Lord is propitiated, that form and name he presents himself. The various forms taken by God are woven into hymns and prayers and are sung by the common man. When the devotee sees God, who assumes innumerable names and forms in his state prior to avatar, he is filled with boundless wonder. The devotee, with his firm determination, and God, by his fascination for devotion, are attracted towards each other. And the moment they come face to face, they merge, the one into the other. The devotee loses his phenomenal consciousness automatically, and when it returns, he finds that he has lost his identity, lost it into that of God, which cannot be separated again. God within, God without. He has imprisoned me in his abode. This stone is utilized now, and I am relieved of my being for good. As the Master said, this is the sort of identity that he enjoys in astonishment. At this very moment, he comes across the Sadguru, the one who knows the real nature of being. And he sticks to the Guru, and lo and behold, God is revealed. The creator, enjoyer, and destroyer of all names and forms, the controller of all powers, is revealed now. And this is God, the Supreme Self, self-luminous and inspired. Here the primal gunas originate. Though atomic in character, the Guru has in him the absolute power to do what he wills, in accordance with the emotive character of the gunas, and to take any form that suggests itself to him. This is the atomic center, the atomic energy, and the first and final cause of the universe. The first cause, and the first time, and the first guna, and Ganapati, the Lord of the gunas, as well as spirituality and divinity, the world of phenomena, and the primal energy, which is the benevolent power of God, as well as the primordial Maya, the Lord of the dramatic art and the deities of emotion, the five great elements and the gunas, the Purusha and Prakriti, the formless and the matter. All of it has their origin here. The God of gods, the soul of the movable and the immovable, the universal soul, is naturally all-pervasive as Brahman, which is beloved to the bhaktas and the true abode of the bhakta, filled with an ocean of love. And this is where true devotion is born. This is the sacred place, residing in the hearts of the devotees, which the saints call Gopala Krishna or Bala Krishna. For in the beginning he is seen to be the atom of atoms. By nature he is innocence incarnate and easily moved by emotions, and becomes many and immense in accordance with the direction taken by the emotions. The nature of the expansion is determined by the excess of one or another of the three gunas. He manifests himself through each one of the three gunas at different times in a non-partisan spirit. As the saints are closely acquainted with God, they know what guna he would induce at any given moment and what the consequences would be. And hence they dissuade him from the excess of his nature, particularly from indulgence in the eventual emotionality. Excess of growth in any guna is dangerous. Sattva guna is absolutely good, yet even that is harmful when overactive. Raja is restless and overbearing, while tamaguna is blind and arrogant. Knowing this well, the wise man keeps his soul away from the effects of the gunas. And hence the energy of the soul remains undiminished and develops in the right direction. Satisfaction of various desires increases the taste for desire. The thirst for worldly enjoyment slowly decreases the power of the soul in imperceptible degrees. But enmeshed in the gunas, one never thinks about it. While divorced from the three gunas, the soul has nothing but pure happiness and peace at its roots. But the bound soul runs after the gunas in the hope of getting happiness, without even once tasting real peace. Misery and pain are the inevitable consequences. But when setting aside the temptation of the gunas, the devotee finds his pure soul, he fondly takes to its rearing with love and sincerity. And only when the devotion is successful is the Atman realized. One is then seen as a child at dawn, and is called the child of victory, Yashoda. He grows and takes a cosmic form. That which grows is very small in the beginning. So this God of the bhaktas is seen to be very small in the initial stage. Atman, the self, is the mainstay of the three gunas and five elements, and appears to be extremely subtle and exclusively composed of the gunas at their first appearance. Thanks to the attraction to the senses, one reaches a deplorable stage of degeneration. But the blessings of the Guru reveal the Lord's pristine, pure form, and that is final. Now the bhakta is on his alert not to allow his consciousness to be polluted by the cravings for sensuous pleasures. God, in whom the 14 lores and 64 arts and the 8 cities are naturally engendered, and by whose act of will the whole universe comes into being, himself was divested of his 6-fold glory. But now his real nature is clear to the bhakta. The firmer it is in its nature, the greater becomes the power and strength of the soul. Hence, the saints do not allow it to lose its steadiness. The crux of the nurturance, it lies in keeping it firm, undeflected by the presence of the gunas. The security and consolidation of what is gained is more strenuous than the effort spent on its acquisition. Many a time, great achievements are reduced to nil for lack of protection. If this spiritual gain of the soul be eclipsed by sensuous desires, it is shaken to its very roots. Once the nature of the self is known, keeping it firm in its nature is the only thing that counts. It is very difficult to keep the gunas at rest. That is why the saints advise us to stabilize in self-knowledge. Those who have released and stabilized self-knowledge are the beings whose glory is sung from time immemorial. It is only their names that form the basis of divine meditation. Sri Vishnu, Shankara, Dattatreya, Sri Rama are some of the innumerable names given to God. Originally, these were the names given to the human forms. But in virtue of their strenuous penance, they came to possess the how and why, the what and whence of the experience of the self and of the world. And as a result of the penance, they came to know the root cause of the experience. They had a firm grip on its nature and on the method of its stabilization, and they acted accordingly. This was crystallized for the use of the common man. As man came to know more and more of it, the fame of the spiritual pioneers pervaded the 4 corners of the world. That is how they came to be known as the incarnations of God, avatars. And with their name and fame, they were declared by men to be God incarnate. Temples were built in their name. The bhakti path took firm roots in the soil. The followers pursued their faith sincerely and were happy. And the tradition continues. Those who came to possess the knowledge of the self and kept it pure and secure are known to be sages and saints, while those who utilized it for the sake of sense enjoyment are called devils and demons or ravanas. The highest and rare gain is a difficult achievement, but if achieved, it is fully beneficial. But if not properly cared for, it is equally harmful. To digest high achievements is not an easy thing. Supreme secrets are very difficult to guard and harmful if made public. One who knows the great secret and calmly keeps it as such is called a perfect man, or a saint or sage. The common man is scandalous by nature, and one who is scandalous is a lowly, egoistic person, while one who remains silent and calm, even when he knows the weak points of others, is called omniscient. One who does not get excited by the possession of spiritual knowledge of the root cause can, with love and devotion, cultivate and brighten it. Devotion and prayer and renunciation are firmly established in him. He is always free from desires, wherever he may be. And he has the aura of peace and happiness about him. The halo shown around the heads of great beings is a pictorial representation of this fact. The bright circle represents his divinity, his enlightenment. It is the sign of purity, peace, and bliss. Whoever approaches such a being gets an unsolicited touch of divine bliss. This emanation is the indwelling universal spirit in a state of perfect rest. Pleased with devotion and prayer, Balakrishna starts his divine sport. The saint never acts with any intention as such. All his activities are an expression of the divine Leela. But none can succeed in testing its veracity through the intellect. For divine Leela is beyond the capacity of the human intellect to penetrate through. It is unique. God alone can understand his divine play.